an instrument everybody loves.
Many contributions to the community challenge already. Love to see it. Love to see it. I've set a lofty goal this time, though. Let's see if we can hit it. I mean, I say lofty, but I think it's 4 times higher than the last community challenge we did, but we hit that one in like a week. So this one might take a little tiny bit longer. Hello, how's it going out there? What do we got in here today? Lion, Chaotic, Rod, Ramens, Noodle. I Can't Smell is in here. CO's in here. Nightbot is in here. Hi, Nightbot. It'd be really scary if Nightbot responded. Well, I'm gonna go grab myself a beverage. We're gonna try out these jelly paints again. Savior, hello. Cozy Afternoons, hi. Lulu. Remember right off the jump today to set my stretch timer. Weedity, hello. Once again into the photographs. But you know, I looked over it's very easy to see on Instagram, but I was looking over my recent Instagram posts, and almost all of them have the exact same color palette because I've been doing so many bright like greens and trees and blue skies and stuff lately. So I might switch it up today. I might do something a little bit different. Dramatic, perhaps. The Sailor Moon thing I did was different, for sure. Had nice sunset hues. Let's see what I've got in the references. I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky again recently, but I don't remember ever to save my screenshots, like to take pictures and stuff, which is bonkers. Steve Tanks, thank you so much for that subscription. 4 months now. So glad to have you here. Thank you for supporting me and my art. Very much appreciated. No Man's Sky is it's like walking around in a little painting, which is very nice. Although most of the worlds I've encountered lately have been scary, like toxic worlds or desolate worlds. But that's kind of cool. I mean, variety is the spice of life and space, they say. But I would really like to find a super verdant, lush, maybe tropical world to finally settle down on, because I don't have a base set up yet. I want to, really make a little home. They've added so many features to that game since the last time I played. It had been almost exactly a year since the last time that I booted up No Man's Sky, and I think there was 3 giant content updates in between then and now, including the ability to just summon your freighter into the atmosphere, which is very intimidating, but it looks awesome. I'm going to go into my references. What do we got here? A lot of pink and purple, a lot of red. For a while, it felt like I was only getting worlds with color schemes that were opposites on the color wheel. A lot of red and green, a lot of orange and blue. I think there's maybe something built into the whatever coding that they have designed to create the worlds that pushes certain aesthetics in certain directions depending on the type of the world. It's really fascinating. There must be so many underlying systems that just have to build into that generation. Hello, Pachi. Hello, Pluta. Good to see you. Good to see you. There was an old composition that I was really fond of. Let me see if I can find that old reference. It's a thing that I've painted a few times now, but I've never quite gotten it right. At least not to my satisfaction. I think I saved it under landscapes. Yes, I did. I wonder if enough time has passed since I did this painting. Did anyone catch that solar eclipse the other day, by the way? There was a solar eclipse the other morning. I completely missed it. I was sleeping. It was like right at dawn on the sort of east northern side of like North America. And it's wild because it's actually the second time in a very short span when the 3 celestial objects fell into sync, because there was a lunar eclipse not that long ago and then a solar eclipse. So it's like they flip-flopped into position, which is wild. Itachi, thank you so much for 9 months. 9 months, does that mean, are you a cow bear now? Yeepaw? I would love to see it. Yeepaw. Beautiful. Congratulations on the badge upgrade. That's a big Chivo. You know, it's actually very fascinating going back through my painting reference folders, especially my inspiration references, because some of these I've painted, but a lot of them I gathered aspirationally, thinking like maybe someday I'll be able to paint the things that I see here, but almost all of them are they were far too intimidating when I first saved them. And I'm looking at them now like maybe it's time. I feel like I've got probably most of the skill set to at least begin to attempt these paintings. There's one here in particular, I love the colors and I really want to take a shot at it. So I'm going to open that one up. It's kind of an exciting feeling to see a reference image and not be scared of it. Because I would see these back in the day and be like, how would I even begin to approach it, you know? But now I just think splash, 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 head empty, no thoughts, just paint. Ooh, I got a new tube of paint, by the way, today. Let me switch on over to the main cam and let's get this thing rolling. There's the main cam. This is my arm down here. Hello to my arm. I got my Cobalt Turquoise, brand new Cobalt Turquoise. And as we discussed, now we finally have a point of reference. Oh, actually, I need to just realized that I have to adjust the saturation because this camera has terrible color capture. There we go. Now it looks more or less accurate. So this tube of paint, this tube of Winsor & Newton gouache, Cobalt Turquoise Light, not as common as the primary colors, so it costs more. This is as expensive. They're almost exactly equal in value to this whole case of the jelly gouache. This thing was, like, the jelly gouache was $30, and this thing was $27. So that is wild. And one of these is 14 milliliters. And each of these little tubs is 30. So these are about twice as much material. But the material is different, you know. It hits different. But yeah, that is the comparison for cost. Now, it's not always like that with Winsor & Newton tubes of gouache. I mean, if you're just getting a primary color, very common. Those are like $9. So quite a different range. But if you want the slightly rarer colors or something that isn't in stock as often, Opera Rose, Cobalt Turquoise, at least where I live, you have to pay that premium. Which is bonkers. It's bonkos. To be sure. Now I'm going to put down a little sketch and we're just going to have some fun and relax and just get right into it, you know? I'm excited for today. I always look forward to Tuesday. I find it to be the most relaxing stream of the week. Oh, heck yeah, you're at figure drawing class right now? I love it. As usual, we're going to spill on over to the other page if we so choose. Now, there won't be a lot of sketching really required on this one. But I do need to block in certain shapes and figures. We are doing a landscape day. Happy to be back doing landscape once again. Just so you know, we've got a community challenge going because I finally remembered that community challenges are a thing. And right now, the community challenge is for me to do a crayon-only stream. As you may or may not know, I've got a pack right here of barely used Crayola crayons, 24 pack. So you can now contribute your channel points, the inspiration points, into that challenge. It's going to take a lot. I set it to 500,000 points. So it's going to take quite a bit. But the last time we did one of these things, I thought it was going to be a lot, and y'all destroyed it. And there's quite a few more bears now than there was then, so I believe in you. So I've got a little tree line going here. And then we're just going to work in the thing that I always love in paintings like this, which is the different planes of objects. So back here we have kind of a mountain range. Invader Nim, I'm glad you could make it too. Heck yeah, I'm glad y'all are here. As always. Okay, cross up and around. Zoop, zoop, zoop. This photograph was taken on a paddy field. So it has that beautiful light shining into the water kind of thing. Oh yeah, Pluta. So we have a community challenge going right now. It's going to run for the next 30 or so days, I think. I think that's what I set it for, 30 days. And people can pay in their channel points into it. And once it reaches 500,000, which is the goal that I set, we'll do a crayon-only stream. I'm not allowed to use anything else. And when I say anything else, I mean other than paper, no pencils, no erasers, no pens, no paint certainly. No acrylic pens afterwards, no Posca, like nothing else, just crayons. And I'm going to try to make as dynamic and bold a piece as possible, just using 24 colors included here in the Crayola crayon pack. I might go through an entire crayon or two in search of the challenge, because I want to make something bonkers. I know a couple of techniques you can do with crayons to really change up the texture and feel, and at least try to approach a sort of different sense. Because, you know, a crayon drawing kind of looks like a crayon drawing unless you get in there and smudge some things around and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really looking forward to the challenge of it. So feel free to contribute if that sounds fun to you. Okay, so I've got some perspective here looking out over the rice fields. And then we're going to have a bold sky above. And the cool thing is, since, you know, the water is so clear, so still, just due to the nature of it being what it is, that it will reflect the sky, and the sky has got some bold colors, so let's get in there and figure some stuff out. So just like last time, I'm going to be lifting. I know this time that I actually don't have to lift as much paint, so I'm going to go very small. Sort of another point in the favor of this gouache is it's just so economical because you get so much of it for the price. But also, since they give you so much, you can kind of go a little ham. So we've got some of this magenta. I'm going to mix that in with some white. And I still don't know the difference between the two, so I'm going to go with both. I'm sure I'll dip back into them as necessary. Next, we're going to need some strong blue. Feels like I'm preparing icings. Get a little bit of this. I think this is the French blue. Oh. Oh, we got a blob. Blob overboard. Okay. And rounding out the cast, got a little bit of this crimson. Maybe get some of this orange as well. Just a little touch. I want to make some very, very bold colors on this thing. Now, not so much in terms of the color necessarily, but for mixing purposes, I'm going to get some of this burnt umber. We can mix that together with the blue, and we can make some really, really nice dark colors, which we'll need because I need some dark colors to stand out against the sky. The sky is going to have some very bold sunset hues. All right. Now let's just get the heck in there, you know? So for this, since I'm doing kind of bold, bright, really intense sun colors for the sky, I'm going to wet the whole thing down with water. And I'm also going to wet down in the water on the fields because, of course, it's reflecting the sky. So if I have a color that I'm putting in the sky, I'll put it down on the water as well, just to make my life easier. Would I consider doing plein air painting in Breath of the Wild again? Absolutely I would. I would love to do another plein air of the wild. 100%. Now that I have a little bit more flexibility as partner, I've definitely been thinking a lot more about adding weird days into the mix. Bringing back some gaming elements I think would be really, really fun. And here we go. Get some of that really bright poppin' magenta, get some of that white. I need this to be super bold. Very intense. Now I'm going to dip right into that dark blue. Just a tap of white. Now I'll mix between them. I will say the jelly paints have not dried yet. No sign of drying quite yet. And that takes us to our first stretch break. So let's stand up for 1 second here and stretch. Yeah, the jelly gouache is very strange. I hadn't heard of it until relatively recently when it started taking off on social media. It's been kind of a fascinating discovery. I do. I think it's quite good. Definitely one of those things where it's like, for the price it's very good, but also just in general it's pretty good. Again, I don't know any of the sort of long-term stuff with it. The ultimate light fastness and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer if you're wanting to try gouache for the first time. It is infinitely cheaper than almost every other option. Hey, Redbird. Yeah, that M-gram stuff. I feel like I can't really render a judgment on the M-gram because I've only used the white, but I was not a fan when I used it. To me, Winsor & Newton is kind of the top dog, but also don't have a lot of experience with other stuff, so it's hard to say. I've been a VTuber from way back. A lot of my old heads remember when I had an actual VTuber setup. Sadly, it did not last very long because I needed my phone for other stuff, and I didn't also have a holder for my phone. So whenever I did set it up to capture like my face and stuff, it just kept falling over, and it was very, very not good for the health of my phone. But yeah, I do have a rig where it's the exact same like drawing of me doing the painting, except it's like fully rigged up, which was very fun to do. Have I painted with marker pens? Do you mean like Poscas? Because yes. Like these guys here. I've got a pretty big collection. I am a fan of them. I mostly use them for finishing work, doing like some fine details and stuff. It's been a long time since I've done like a full illustration with Poscas. I really like their opacity, and just the fact, obviously that the paint is being administered via a tip makes it a bit easier to control in certain situations. Lay down the page now and focus in a bit more on these details. Worth the price? It's difficult to say with stuff like that because it's so dependent on what you're needing for your artwork, what you're needing for your finishing and stuff like that. It's very individualistic. Like, I don't know if I would do a bunch of finished paintings with them, because I think you would run out fast enough that it would offset the price in a negative way. But also, I don't know how many people are only doing that. Hard to say. I need some dark green over here. Dark green. Kind of the beauty and the curse of art materials, right? Is like it's going to be so different for everybody that you're then cursed to just try a bunch of stuff out. It can take a really long time because a lot of it's expensive. The expensive stuff certainly can be better, for sure. sometimes that stuff also depends greatly on what you're looking for. Sometimes better in the paint world just means longer lasting, and that's not necessarily what everyone needs paint for. Like, ideally, we'd all have our paintings last for 400 years or whatever, but it's also not always the end goal. One of the things I really liked about trying out this jelly gouache, it's honestly, for the most part, very similar to using the Winsor & Newton. You have to use a little bit more if you want the same density, but that's to be expected from anything with like that big of a price difference. Like, you're getting like a bit less pigment per drop or whatever measurement you'd want to use. But also, you get so much more, right? I paint burbs. Hello. Hello and welcome to all the raiders. So nice to meet you. Please make yourselves at home. Hello, hello, hello. Just doing a little bit of calm and contemplative painting with the jelly gouache here. It's my second time ever using the jelly gouache, and it's a wild medium. Well, thank you so much for all the follows. How you doing? How was your stream? Do you have a nice time over there? I'm gonna get a little bit more magenta and mix up with white for a pink. I know, right? It is wild. Extremely true. It's been quite a curiosity to me. And I didn't, until the second I used it, I didn't know what to expect from it. So the jelly gouache is a curious thing because the binder in it, which I don't even know what they use, I'm sure it's listed somewhere in the world. But the binder in it gives it a jelly consistency. I likened it to like a whipped pudding kind of consistency. I think it's the way that they space out or fill. I'm not going to say it's jam-packed with filler, but there's definitely, you get a lot of gouache. And to give the comparison to what we were talking about at the very start of the stream, since a lot of folks might not have been around, I just got a new tube of Winsor & Newton. I was restocking my supply. So this is Cobalt Turquoise Light. And this tube of paint cost me $27 in Canada, where I am. It's a little bit harder to get supplies. But to compare, this is a 14 milliliter tube of Winsor & Newton gouache. This whole thing of jelly gouache was $30. So only $3 more than this tube. So you can see from like if the perspective of I want to try gouache for the first time, I would recommend this jelly gouache. It might not last a million years, but honestly, that's a dang good value. To get all these colors, you get about twice as much in each jar as is in this tube. But again, with Winsor & Newton, you're using less of it anyway, so it's not like oh man, it changes the game, but it does change the game in terms of the amount you get for the price, and that is all that really matters when you're talking about an entry-level product. Trying to just get people into gouache is so important, and if you have a product that doesn't cost $1 million and you can actually get in there or get gifted it or gift it yourself and, you know, give other people access to painting, that's huge. That is enormous. I got the Artex. I wasn't actually paying too close attention when I bought it because I was like, just look for the mint tin. But yes, I got the Artex. Here's the little card that came with it. I'm gonna mix down in some more earth tones with the blues. And it's spilling over a bit onto this side, but I'm going to focus mostly on the original side here. Flesh out some of these background details. I love pushing that kind of perspective where everything, gets much wider as it comes toward the camera, and then the planes get thinner and thinner as they go backwards into space. We'll sort of push that idea a little bit more back on these fields, where I'm just going to put a couple of thin lines across. Fluta, thank you so much for gifting those 2 subs. Appreciate that. Enjoy your bears, subs. Don't forget, !Discord in chat if you'd like to join our Discord. And if you do, and you hook up your Twitch to your Discord, you can use all of our fun little bears if you subscribe. We've got, I would argue, too many emotes, but they're all there, and you can use them all. Jelly gouache, I would say, is just about as opaque as regular gouache. It dries very similarly as well. Slightly granular, but not enough that you would really call it out necessarily. Very similar in most aspects to the stuff that I regularly use, which is nice because it didn't make it too much of a growing pain to start using it. Not enough emotes. Well, I'll do my best. We still have 2 open slots for emotes, honestly, so I got to get in there and do some more. And once we hit the next sub giveaway goal, I believe we'll hit our next emote milestone, which means we'll get yet another slot to open up. I'm very excited, and we have those animated emotes coming in just a few weeks. Ten out of 10 dentists recommend more emotes. Well, I'll make it happen, my bears. I'll make it happen. So I'm going to bring some more bright colors, specifically into this section right here. I want it to pop to the maximum. Add some more in the back as well. I've got my dark colors down, and as it dries, it gives it an opportunity to then go in and add some light colors on top. But it's really important that you let it dry first. Also, according to Twitch, my connection is spotty right now. It looks strong on my computer, but it's saying I'm dropping frames, so let me know if it is choppy or bad, and I will see to it. Now, let's go back into those bright pink colors. I'm going to get the rigging brush out. If I can find it. Oh, it's right here behind my water dish. Hello. What are you doing back there, you rascal? Got it. Beautiful. It's been fine? Okay. Yeah, it's just reading. It's reading as squirrely on the Twitch back end. But it might be, I mean, you know how it is. Oh, it's okay now. It fixed itself. I think with all the E3 stuff, Twitch has kind of been getting slammed this week. Makes sense. But also, please Twitch. Let me have my little gentle heartstring. So I'm going to mix together a little pink. And we'll go in and really brighten out some of these spots back here.
It's gonna be hard to do. It doesn't matter. Because what happens is
Right on, right on. Have a good walk. I just have to make sure there's way more water on the brush with this little rigging one than I use on any other brush. It completely changes the dynamic in a huge way. Alright, I need this one to be a little more purple. Switch up the color a bit so it's not all the same. Nice pale lilac. Well, I have not looked into the light fastness of the jelly gouache, but I have a feeling that they are not perhaps as light fast as other colors, but I could be wrong. But light fastness is usually the first thing to go when you reduce the price of a gouache. I feel like the Pokemon stuff comes in its own directs now, because those are so big. Pokemon and the Smash Bros. And the Animal Crossing stuff all gets relegated to its own little worlds. I was so excited for that Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. I yelled very loudly when it came on. Oh yeah, I really want that Game & Watch Zelda console. I know some folks that got the Mario one last year, so I feel like they won't be maybe impossible to find, but who knows? Still on the hunt for a PS5 if anyone's got a lead. There's a real tricky balance to getting a nice dark landscape and not having it be muddy, and instead full of vibrancy and color and life. It's hard not to just let everything sink into one big blob. I think I do follow at least one of those alert things, but I never know which one to trust. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I turned the music up. I was in focus mode, so I turned the music up to be musicy. Well, it's tough, right? Because the darker things get, the more shadow is there. There's still details in the shadows, but the values, the relative values between them become very, very short. So everything gets super close in value unless you have any light source, and then the light source becomes the contrast, either soft or hard-edged. Well, thank you, Andrea. Now, gonna use a Posca. Thanks, Manjo. We like to keep it extra chill here in the painting zone. I'm going to put a couple of little lights in the distance. It's always super good for atmosphere. Especially anything late evening or golden hour when the lights everywhere are starting to turn on. Very evocative. Now, I can use this basically as a white balance indicator because I'm seeing now that the white balance is off. And that seems better now. Beautiful. The art tunnel. I like that idea. I'll look into that. I have an emote. Maybe I'll make it tier 1. But I have a Lost in the Sauce emote. That's just like little chicken nugget sauce. I don't always work in gouache, but I do work in gouache quite a bit. I would say, as far as my traditional art goes, almost exclusively gouache. I'm trying out the jelly this is the second time that I've tried the jelly gouache. It's still holding its jelliness, by the way. All I've done is have the regular lid applied, but you can kind of see already yellow ochre is beginning to crack and separate. The lemon yellow as well is sort of on its way. I feel like the black will solidify pretty quickly. It's usually the darker, thicker pigments that tend to do it first. I'm kind of surprised the reds are holding out, though. As with my Winsor & Newton gouache, those are always the first to dry. Always. Oh. We've got our stretch alarm. It's time to take another stretch. reset the stretch alarm. Let's go ahead and stretch. If I can figure out a good camera angle, a thing I would like to do soonish, honestly, is I was just over at my buddy's house the other day, and before the pandemic, I think, we bought a bunch of canvases on sale at Michael's, like a bunch of canvases. Too many canvases, honestly. And I was going to paint them over at his place because he has oils and acrylics. And then, you know, things went the way they went, and those canvases just sat in a closet for over a year. And so I finally got them back. I have like 6 canvases. All of them are panoramic, very, very wide. So, yeah, I think I might pick up some new acrylic paints and try my very best to make some big paintings. Orge. Have a good stream, Itachi. See you later. Okay, let's take away the little stretchman. Stretchy stretchman. And this feels more or less dry enough that we can flip the page and start on another. The sketchbook's really shaping up to be a special one, I think. I'm enjoying doing the approach of painting on the right side and letting it spill over. Something that feels kind of, I don't know, behind the scenes-ish about seeing the paint sort of dissolve on the other side. So this was... I painted this with the jelly gouache, right? I think? Yes. This was the first one I did with jelly gouache. It's been like a few days and I've already forgotten. And then this is regular gouache. Winsor and Newton style. And then this was a plein air painting that I did when I was actually on the marsh. It was a very limited palette one too. I remember I only had a couple of cools and a couple of warms. And you could tell, like, plein air is so fun in this sense because you can tell it was a really, 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 really sunny day because the way that I painted was from observation. So all of the shadows are light. There's barely any dark value. Well, you compare that to the black ink, and it's so different. It's because it was so bright and the sun was in my eyes that I painted very, very light shadows, which is fun. And then I've got these from the plant nursery. What else did I do? I did these little guys here. These are all from photos I took at the garden center of different plants. And then this is the marsh in the early spring, before anything grew. So it's actually kind of interesting to see the difference between, like, that's the marsh in early spring before stuff's growing. And then this is the marsh, the exact same place pretty much. It's like a 45-degree angle from that last one. And it's when it's fully green, fully bloomed, which is very fun. So let's flip the page. Curious why you'd opt to stream while painting. It's a good question. I mean, I guess most of Twitch is gaming, right? I think my main reason is for some kind of work consistency. For a long number of years, I got very used to having like a group chat on, or in ideal conditions, being in a physical studio with people and, talking about art and basically doing what I'm doing now, listening to music and hanging out. But having that sort of communal environment, And that is the kind of thing that Twitch offered. Just having a little community of buddies. Also, it keeps me, honest isn't the right word. But, like, it's an accountability, right? Like, if I say I'm going to stream, for the most part I do, and I always create something while I stream. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I did something. Like, I accomplished a thing, which helps, especially in pandemic times. But I am extremely, extremely grateful that anyone decided to stop by and watch. I mean, a lot of this stuff is the kind of things that I would want to be doing anyway. And then as a huge bonus, having people, you know, come in and talk with me about art and stuff, which is, you know, I love to talk about art. I love to talk in general. I'm going to clean off my brushes. I found it very difficult to talk while painting when I first started streaming. Very glad that a lot of those early streams are no longer up because I was incredibly nervous. But yeah, nowadays it just feels natural, which is nice. I'm very glad. I think the most beautiful thing that happened over the past year with streaming consistently is that now that people actually come through and support, and we have like a supportive community and the subs and everything, it's allowed me to free up more of my time from doing private commissions to actually working on the things that I really love and care about. There's a power and a freedom that I will never take for granted, which is the ability to just look at a thing and say, I want to paint that, and then I paint it, and then that's enough. You know? Like, that's very rare. It's a very rare and beautiful thing. So the fact that this Twitch community allows me to do that is unbelievably empowering and nice, and I'm hoping to just feed that positive energy back out into the world. And as far as I've found so far, Twitch is the place where I can do that. Which is nice. It's just nice. And the Discord has become a really nice extension of that as well, which is good. Once again, I was very nervous and worried about a thing that ended up being fine. Well, thank you, Sassy Pineapple. I really appreciate that. I'm extremely glad whenever anyone tells me that, you know, they're like, I don't really chat in here, but I love just having your streams on, or like, I fall asleep to your streams. Unless they're saying it in a really mean way, which, you know, even that's fine. But I like the idea of bringing comfort to people because I seek that comfort from streaming all the time. Especially like when I'm going to sleep or when I'm just trying to chill out, I always put something on. And the thought that I could be that for someone else, fantastic. And occasionally there's cryptids, so, you know, the best of all worlds. I'm going to paint a mountain. I'm going to paint a mountain. There's nothing anyone can do to stop me. And I'm going to paint it vertically. Now, what's the best way to do this? I'm going to take the clip off of the top, and I'm actually going to set the jelly gouache up here. I think that's the best way that I can have access to all the paint that I need. Good enough. Oh, everyone's being so kind and sweet in the chat. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Very glad you're here. A massive hell yeah to the lurkers. Okay. I'm going to do a little sketch. A little sketch. Where'd I put my pencil? Pencil got away from me. Okay. do a mountain. Really Bob Ross this thing out. I think I may have painted this mountain before. But it's really dynamic. The lighting on it is very, very cool. I want to do the broad shapes first. I'm just going to go pretty bold. And then here, that. Here, there's important to do the sound effects. And over and across. And then we can do the finer detail once we've got those initial sort of lines of intention out of the way. Thank you, Pixie. I can't stop looking at all the nice messages. Thank you, everyone. Once again, thank you. Okay, let's lay down some tone in the background here. Now, I've got a lot on my palette. I can actually move my palette down so you can see a little bit better the stuff that I'm mixing together. What I need to do is clean off the bottom part of the palette so that I have a place to mix some nice clean colors. I'm just going to splash down some water. And the palettes are almost sometimes a beautiful piece of art in themselves. I have a little folder on my phone where just for me, I go in and I take pictures of the most beautiful palette remnants. Maybe someday if I get enough of them, I'll make a little book. Okay, cleaned off a little room here. So let's mix together sky color. feel like I'm going to be working on a bunch of stuff in quick succession here, so I'm going to turn the music back up while I'm being very quiet. Thank you, Goose Likes Gaming. That's exciting. Abby. Hello. And hello, Raiders. Welcome in. Make y'all selves at home. Welcome to Comfy Mountain. How was your stream? You are truly the bravest among us. Well, it sounds lovely, and I hope you mean in a video game. I'm not going to disagree. Love putting the shadows on mountains. What a joy. What? Abby's doing watercolors now? When are we gonna do that paint and stream, Abby? We'll have to figure something out. I'm very excited. Next week sounds great. Be my pleasure. Lion, thank you so much for gifting those 6 subs to the community. My goodness gracious, mercy me. Enjoy your bears, everybody. Thanks for stopping by, Goose. Hope to see you next time. I'm painting in all the dark little spots on this mountain. And then I'll be able to paint some lighter ones in very bold, warm colors, which I always look forward to doing. Kind of melding, because right now it's very cool looking. Which sounds like I'm bragging, but it's like cool colors, I mean. But it's also very cool looking, if I may say. But we're gonna add some warm colors in and really let the feeling of the sunshine hit that mountainside. It may very well be one of the 3 sisters. I wonder where this is from, actually. It's in my, this is in one of my oldest reference folders. Back when I wasn't really cataloging, this was in the inspiration section under like things that I'll never be able to paint. That was kind of the theme when I went into my references today, was I was looking for things that intimidated me when I first started painting. Things that I thought when I first saw them, maybe someday. And now here we are at someday. And I don't fear these paintings at all. We've made it to someday. I mean, that makes it sound like it was easy. I guess it has been like 5 years that I've been working towards it, but still, it's nice to be able to mark those progress points and be like, this, I never would have A, considered painting this, but B, in front of people. That was 2 like nevers in my book. Now here I am. Not a care in the world. Painting it in front of people. And am I scared? Sure. But of the world, not this. This part I've got. Oh, Glapos, thank you so much for gifting those 5 subs to the community. So kind, so kind. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that's what I should make the next community challenge stream. See if I can wrangle up some hype for doing a giant canvas. Because I've got those big canvases now. However, if you look at our community challenge currently, trying to wrangle up 500,000 points to do an all crayons only stream. Nothing but crayon. And I have no idea how it's going to go. But I own the crayons already. And I will make an entire thing with just these 24 colors of crayons. So a lot of the stuff down here is going to be fully warm color. So I need to clean off what I've got on the palette now, all these cool colors. So I'm going to have to assemble a very, very warm color. Yeah, I need to put on my hype voice for the crayon thing. World premiere. Crayons. That just sounds like Solid Snake now. Otacon. What are crayons? Are crayons the key to Metal Gear? Ooh. I cleaned that palette just in time for us to take a quick stretch. I'll stand up and stretch it out. I was listening to some old Metal Gear clips recently, and I'd forgotten how high-pitched Snake's voice is. It's very growly and gravelly, but it is kind of up here. Can crayons bloom on the battlefield? Okay, so We're going to go warm color expressway for this top part. Let's go right on in and mix together some oranges, bright and bold as you like. Pretty much just going to be this color, honestly, with a little bit of white in there, lightness and opacity. Maybe a little bit of yellow, a little bit of gold. Yes, indeed. I've got my little avatar, PNG tuber, I believe it's called. I've got that set up. It's a weird little gizmo. It's very fun. It's basically, you set it up in like a private Discord thing. I actually linked a tutorial on my Discord, !Discord in the chat if you'd like to join the Discord. But I linked in the references section a fun little tutorial on how to make it work. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Heck yeah, Lyra. That rules. Oh, actually, I should use my big brush for this. Let's go big brush on this one. Lots and lots of pigment. I told you we're going bold. I'm not messing around with these colors. Now I'm going to build a sort of interstitial color with some yellow and some gold. And then I'll build darker colors around the blue. And I'm taking my time mixing these colors because I do want it to be dry when I go in and start manipulating on top of it. It's like full magenta and blue and bold and wild. More blue, more blue. And then this is actually, here's something I love about art. That's a very bold statement. But just like seeing the connections and kind of jumping from one to the next as you go, your synapses are kind of firing on this thing and then takes you to the next thing and takes you to the next thing. And for this piece, I was thinking about the shadows that go over the warm colors. But as I dragged them down, I realized the shadow is actually going to be the light area of the place below it, which is very wild. So down here, like all of this stuff down here, it's actually the light color. And then a bit lighter and more orange. Yeah, this. And now as I move down into the shadows, all I'm doing basically is transitioning the color from warm back to cool, and then layering over top of one another. And that'll give us our little shadows. Very red indeed. That interplay between warm and cool is what's going to give this piece a lot of its dynamism. Oh my god, are we already at 10% of the community challenge? Y'all are bananas. Most good backgrounds do require a Goku. So when I do these quick strokes, you'll notice I'm sort of going off the direction of the sunlight, and it's just sort of trying to keep that momentum going. Of like, the light is spilling over this way, so that's the direction that the brush strokes will go. I'd say so far I'm very impressed with the jelly gouache. Much more than I thought I would be. And I didn't go in with like a particularly low bar either, because I know that a lot of people use these all the time. But I was very surprised with how much you get and the quality of it for the cost. And now after using them a couple of times, I would say it's a very easy recommend for people who are wanting to learn gouache for the first time. Very easy recommend. You can never tell with these, especially ones that become really popular. But I'm glad that I finally got some hands-on time with them. Okay, so now I can build down to a darker tone.
Traces of your wall hunt me down inside. I should run and go, I should run and hide, but I'm stuck on you. You make me feel like
Yes, I got the Artex. As far as I can tell, there's not a huge difference between this and the Himi gouache. But I don't know. This is the only one I've tried. They have very similar cases. Okay, Himi, Mia, and Artex.
I keep trying, but the words ain't right. Nothing's fitting for a kind like you. I'm never speechless when the earth's my fuel. Killing the time, building a fire, wrapped in each other as we fall in love. I've never met a girl.
I'm using a watered down mixture now so that I can get more transparent buildable layers, building up these dark colors. It's also good to use transparency in this part Because so many of the values, as we talked about earlier, they're very close together, like extremely close together. So a really easy way to kind of shortcut that is just by blazing transparently.
We should just say what they know. I've heard a rumor of humans who sniff out the good things to suck out the soul. I wanna tell you how I feel tonight. I keep trying, but the words ain't right. Nothing's fitting for a kind like you. I'm never speechless when the earth's my fuel. Killing the time, building a fire.
Okay, one more cleaning of the palette, and then I can put those nice warm colors on the side of the back mountain. And then we'll shore up the sides and our lines. And we should be done. I feel like it's rare lately that all my timing lines up for a proper end time on our streams. It looks like today I'm gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna do orange, golden. It'd be hard to get a clean color at this stage of the painting just because my water dish is woefully contaminated. There we go, that's pretty good. Just getting a couple of different spots primed here with some different colors. Ooh, Dalali, we're only 50 followers away now from getting the art giveaway on the go. Someone's going to be getting some free art in the mail, which is exciting. Yes, indeed. Yeah, all the previous giveaways are in the mail on their way to their homes. So now that I've got the dark colors down, a lot of the mediums and lights, now we can really push the shadows to just where I want it. Kind of get that realistic lighting effect. Before I started painting 5 years ago, was I in the art world or was I doing something else? I was in the art world. I've always been an art guy for the last 20 years or so. For as long as I've been working, I've been an art guy. But I was fully digital before then. I had never attempted any traditional, outside of the occasional somebody hands me a pencil while we're out at a bar somewhere, and I struggle to draw even a rudimentary stick figure. Because I had never had any training or anything like that. I never went to art school. So I just figured out a lot of stuff on my own in terms of digital art. And then by the time that I was in my 30s, when I started painting traditionally, I had to kind of figure everything out all over again. So I initially started painting traditionally as a hobby, because it was just something like different to do. And now I'm the traditional art guy. And I'm also the painting and background guy, which, like, I was never that in my early career, especially. I was always a character design kind of in that realm, drawing a lot of people floating in a void. But now you can't stop me from making a background. It's my bread and butter. Just one more set of shadows and we'll be all done here. Yeah, it's never too late. Never too late to switch tracks. I know that it's a very common worry, especially in the modern art world, of just like, can I even start doing something different if I've been doing something for so long? But like, yeah, I was a digital art character-focused guy for 15 years. And then after a series of events where some folks wanted me on background duty for some stuff, making that change and then starting traditional painting. Now it's just like background guy. Now most of my IMDb is background work. I don't know if I still have an IMDb. That's just a guess. There we go. Trying to add a bit of drama at the top of the mountain here. And then a little bit of pure white. See, that's how I hide in plain sight. There's like a million of me on IMDb. Well, I think that's where it's going to be for today. Very happy with how this little painting came out. Once again, impressed. Very impressed with the jelly gouache. I think I'll just keep using it for the next few gouache streams. You know. And I don't want it to be one of those art supplies where like I buy it once and then I never use it again, so I'm trying to use it on all the streams that I can. It's the best motivator. That's right, Redbird. For the first time ever, we're gonna leave at the same time. Now I'm gonna go make myself a little dinner. Thank you so much for coming out. I'll be back Thursday. For Copic Thursdays, we'll be doing some marker work where the audience gets to vote on all the colors that I use. So if that sounds like fun, come on back. Please follow if you haven't, subscribe if you would like to support me and everything that I do here on the channel, and I will be back on Thursday. Have a great evening / morning / whatever it is, wherever you are, and goodbye.